and gentlemen, welcome to episode 397. I'm here with Miss Valentine, and I just want to say thank you for accepting my request to be on my talk show.
Not a problem.
And now, for people who want to know, you are an upcoming actress and mostly, more importantly, an upcoming professional wrestler.
I am not actually an actress. I am just a professional wrestler.
Well, you do have the looks for the actress if you ever decide to go in that area.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm a sucker for a compliment.
Now, the first question I was going to ask you, how was your college years? Were you a study nerd or party animal?
I'm actually 20 years old, and I am currently enrolled in college, but all of my classes are online. So I guess you can say I do all of my work here. So I guess you could say party animal, if you count puppies. I have a lot of those.
I love animals.
Oh yeah. I'm a sucker for puppy eyes. They look up at you, it's over.
Now, my next question for you was, what was your favorite sport back in high school?
My favorite sport in high school was definitely volleyball.
What about, did you ever want to become a professional volleyball player or no?
No. It was more like a hobby. I would like, not even really a hobby, just something that I enjoyed doing. I'm not really a sports kind of person, if you can believe that.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because you are athletic in the ring.
Yeah, I'm actually a sponsored athlete.
Oh, nice. That's really good. So, were you ever interested, while on the subject, were you ever interested in high school wrestling? How did you get interested in being in the ring?
Well, my ring profession actually kind of originated in high school. I was seeing a fine young fellow by the name of Jeremy Copper, also known as Repic, and we were really great friends, and he kind of introduced me to the ring, and he saw a lot of potential in me, and I took advantage of it, and eventually went about my own way, and now I wrestle in Lebanon, Ohio, with Legend of the Squared Circle.
Oh, nice. You know, but there's also OVW. How come you never went over there?
I've actually talked with the promoters from OVW, and they want me to. I just haven't gotten around to making my way down there, I guess you could say. I'm kind of a one promotion at a time person. I want to get to know all of the wrestlers in my local area before I go travel a little further.
No, I understand. Now, before we go into the wrestling, I'm going to ask you a couple easy questions. Well, one more easy question anyway, then we can go into the whole wrestling. Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids or dog piles, or are you not into the whole stuff?
I'm not sure.
Alright, so basically a human pyramid, it's a group of people would get together and they form a pyramid.
I did things like that in, I was actually on the dance team and cheerleading team in high school and middle school, and we did things like that. But not in wrestling. I've never.
That would be pretty interesting. They'd just stop wrestling and during the match and do that.
It'd be a sight. It would be definitely. I would watch it.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
Oh no! You're talking to Queen Loser.
So now that we asked you the easy questions, we're gonna focus on your career. And that is, well, you did mention you're going to college. So what are you focusing on as a main career? Do you want to be a professional wrestler, or do you want a fallback plan?
Being a professional wrestler is an excellent hobby, and it's an excellent job, but it does not put food on the table. My career, right now I'm studying criminal justice and human services, and eventually I would like to be a therapist or maybe a counselor. I really want to work with kids. That's actually the reason I got into wrestling.
Well, you are an entertainer when you're in the rings, and that's one part. And you do have self-defense skills now, so no one will mess with you.
I actually took karate in middle school with my brothers, and I really got into that for a little while, but it didn't stick.
What about who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up, and have you gotten a chance to work with them?
Some of my favorite wrestlers were Ric Flair, obviously. I mean, Al Snow, who was actually my sponsor, and John Cena. Actually got to meet John Cena once, but it was before I became a wrestler, and I think that kind of inspired me and pushed me in the direction.
You see, well. Wrestlers that I met, ones who inspired me, I would say probably, let's see, that's a good question, but if I had to pick two people, the first one would be Bret the Hitman Hart. I got the chance to meet him when I was about 5 or 6. It's funny, we were online, and we were online about for an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours at most. I just know it was a long time. And my dad's like, you're still standing here, but we got closer to the table. And so when we got close enough, my mom's like, actually my dad said, you believe this guy? He's not shaking anyone's hands, he's not taking pictures, because I guess he was annoyed or something. So Brett had his head down, so he signed, pass. So I said to myself, well, I'm going to get his attention. I don't know how, but I'm going to make him look at me. So it was me and my two brothers. They went in front of me. Same thing, sign, pass. So I thought it was actually one of my brothers in front of me who grabbed my autograph and started pulling it. Then I realized it was being pulled not in front, but it was being pulled to the side. And I happened to look, and I wouldn't let go of it. I had a death grip on it. And he stopped, he put down his pen, and I thought he was going to say to me, hey kid, if you want me to sign the autograph, you have to let go of it. Instead, he saw my little hands, and he stopped, he looked at me, and he smiled. Out of all the people before me, he did not look at any of them. But after me, he realized, okay, now my head's up, and like, crap. Now I have to look and smile at everyone. So I got him to get his head up.
Well, that was very brave of you, first of all. And second of all, I noticed that once people make a name for themselves, they tend to forget the people that put them in the place that they're in right now. They forget the little people. They forget, and there is no little people. I mean, without a crowd, what are you doing? You're putting underwear on and flopping around with some other dude in a square. It's you're not there to be famous. You're not there to make yourself this big deity or anything like that. You're there for your fans. And once you start neglecting your fans and just ignoring, not even looking at them when you sign their autograph, they paid money to come see you. Yeah. They took the time out of their day to call off of work or make plans with their friends to come see you. Give them something worth seeing.
No, I agree with you, and you're I don't know if you heard it before, but you're kind of repeating the same thing someone else said. Supposed to not exactly word for word, but similar to what he was saying. Bully Ray, He was saying, like you said, you're putting yourself out there, and if it's not for the fans, you wouldn't be where you are. And Bully Ray said, because this whole big thing, and I agree with, I don't know if you know this, but Sasha Banks went on Twitter and she said she hates how people, go out, find their hotels they're staying at in the airports, and they constantly run up to you. Sorry, just trying to catch my breath. But they run up to you and they say, can we get you autographed? Okay, the hotel thing I understand because you like your privacy. The airport thing is they shouldn't be giving out your flights to anyone because, that's security issues. So
that puts somebody in danger.
Yes.
There's a crazy out.
No, I agree. It's over those two things I agree with Sasha on. But what I don't agree is giving people attitudes. And, Bubba Ray said, be thankful when fans want to know who you are and recognize you and run up to you and ask for your autograph. Be concerned on the day where they walk past you and they don't even take a second glance at you.
I mean, after you make a name for yourself and everybody, enjoys coming out to see you, it should stay that way. And you should enjoy your fans coming out to see you like that because it's a personal thing for them. And they look up to you as a person. And we all had our start somewhere. We all started out somewhere. We started out as a mark sitting in a chair and we thought this exact same thing that I'm not far from a mark myself. I've only been in a ring for 2 years. I'm still learning how to walk here.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of lack of respect in the industry, and I see a lot of lack of appreciation. It's very sad that wrestlers can't. Well, I'm not going to say wrestlers. That's a very general statement. But some wrestlers, some wrestlers can't accept the fact that people want to be around them. And I understand that. Okay, you're going out to a dinner. You want some privacy, but once you show your face on a TV screen in front of an entire nation, you gotta go in expecting that kind of stuff. You can't go into show business and you can't go into a corporation like the WWE and not expect to be watched. You're putting yourself out there to be a role model. And what do people do with role models? They watch their actions. They oh, look, it's whoever over there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's Hulk Hogan. I want a picture. That's in my belief, that is awesome. Like, I inspired that person so much that they wanted photographic proof that they met me. Wow.
Well, here's another example. Bruce Willis. You know how the 10-year-old ran up to him and he basically told the kid to go blank himself.
Are you serious? I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, it happened a couple years ago. Basically, Bruce Willis just brushed off a 10-year-old kid, and it's kind of like what you're saying. You can't have it both ways, because, like for me, I'm putting myself out there because, I went from someone who's a nobody to now say, look, I'm using my disability as a strength, and I'm trying to become famous. Look at what I'm doing. And I'm not going to say, okay, once I become famous, I'm going to put the mask back on and be like how it is. And once you put yourself out there, you have to take responsibilities for your actions.
Exactly. And I think a lot of these people go in and think, well, I'm going to be a big shot, and I'm going to call all the shots, and I'm going to run that place. And they get there, and they do make a name for themselves, and then they let it go to their head. They think that the rules don't apply to them anymore. And it's not just in wrestling. I mean, there's it's showbiz. That's the game. But your fans should be the most important part of your career as a I don't want to say actor because it's not, but as someone in the entertainment industry, your fans should be everything.
Hey, and going back to what Bubba Ray said, follow your fans. You're pretty about to nobody. You're nothing.
If you don't appreciate your fans, why are you there?
Was there any other wrestlers that you got the chance to meet?
I got to meet John Cena, and I actually used to see a guy that was in a match with Batista, but I never got to meet Batista myself.
The wrestlers that I got the chance to meet, like I mentioned, Bret Hart. And I actually got the chance to talk to Bret Hart. I really don't call into a show that much because it's not about disrespect. Because I love the Harts, I love Bret Hart, it's my hero idol. Reason I don't call into a show, it's because it's aired in Canada. So when I call internationally and they say, okay, we're going to put you on hold for 20 minutes until Brett gets to your call, I'm being hit with the international fee, like $3 for 3 minutes or whatever it is. So 20 minutes on hold for an international call, you're just basically, watching the fees stack up. No, if Brett ever had a show on Skype, I'd be there in an instant. But, I used to call overseas too, because I used LinkedIn, and my dad, because I've been doing my talk show about 4.5 years now. So when I first started, I used LinkedIn, and I used to add people, I had people from England, from Canada, from Japan, or China, and I used to call people over the road. My dad used to get the phone bill. He's like, who the hell is calling Hong Kong? Who in this house knows anyone in Hong Kong? Or who the hell is calling Toronto? So I didn't know that if you call international, you got hit by a fee. So now I'm like, if you were international, I would only Skype you, like we're doing, or I would FaceTime you, because then you won't get charged.
Right, because it's the internet.
Yes. And also, if you call and text, that's another thing I used to do. I text a lot of people in Canada, and I used to be hit like $1.50. And so I pay like $100 for my payment plan, because I'm on my dad's payment plan, so I pay him $100. And so every time I said I messaged 50 people in Canada, that's $50 right there worth of international fees. So I don't really call and text overseas anymore. But the point is,
I blame you.
But the point is, I did get the chance to talk to him. I told him the story actually, and he Brett said to me, "Yeah, I was probably annoyed that day for some reason." But I met Brett. I got the chance to talk to him. I met Milena. Funny, I couldn't stop shaking her hand. Every time I said something to her, I end up holding her hand. And it's like, son, are you holding my hand or are you holding mine? So it's like, I didn't really think of it.
That would be a nice hand to hold. I would hold that hand. I would hold that hand for a good minute.
I met Velvet Skies. He was really nice. I met Athelete. She was a Tough Enough winner. Actually, no, I take that back. I was Diva Shirts winner of 2007 or 2008. She's the one with the hat. Let's see. That's really about it. Brett, Milena, Velvet, Athelete. So that's 4. And I met a couple comedians, one for Saturday Night Live. I met, I can't think of his name for some reason. I met Pablo. I don't know his last name, but he's Pablo. He's the cartoon guy. He does the voice. I met the other guy from Saturday Night Live when he was over at Potsdam. Steph Myers. That's who I met Steph Myers when he came to Potsdam. And I can't think of the other guy. But it's funny because I didn't really think anything about Steph Myers. I wanted to be Pablo because he was funny. Steph Myers, nice guy, not funny. Kind of like me, nice guy, but I'm not funny. But Pablo basically brushed me off. But I ended up talking to Steph Myers. He asked me, "Hi, how are you? Did you enjoy the show?" And I said, "Thank you for the autograph." I said, "Yes, thank you. I appreciate it." See, that goes to show you the difference right there. How an upcoming comedian or stand-up person, Steph Myers, who's very humble and respects the fans, to someone else who's a comedian and he just says, "Here's your autograph. Okay, don't bother me."
I completely agree with that. But I also think that sometimes, without realizing it, they discriminate against people with disability. And I cannot wrap my mind around that, because whenever I was a peer tutor, I tutored disabled kids. They were the sweetest people. They were the most innocent, precious souls I have ever met in my life. And I can't wrap my mind around discriminating against them, because, what did they ever do to you?
Yeah, it's right.
You don't like looking at them. You don't like that they exist. That's just hating. There's no reason for that. You're the most innocent person.
Yeah, I agree with you. And for one of the reasons for the show, it's because I've been around people with disabilities all my life. I went to summer school where every summer, it's basically a summer camp. But it was summer school, and I was around these people with disabilities, and it bothered me. So doing my talk show and now standing up for myself and turning myself into an example, when I see someone in a wheelchair, or if I see someone with a disability, I walk over to them and I say, "Hi, how are you? How is everything?" I go and show you that you have to turn a weakness into a strength. If that makes any sense.
That is completely accurate, completely. And people, you're not aliens. You're people just like everybody else. You want to wave you past your friends, and you want to just go out and be yourself and not be judged because of the way you look or the way that you walk or the, limbs that you may or may not have. It's not, you can't help the way you were born.
That's true.
Exactly. And it's not like people choose to be disabled. It's not like people wake up one day and say, "Hey, I want cerebral palsy today." It's a burden that they have to live with, and
it's not a lifestyle.
It is, and it's not. It's a burden that they have to live with, but it doesn't make them less of a person.
I remember, my boss said to me, he got upset at the store. This is after, when I was in Columbus Day, it was after Labor Day. The store was wrecked. It was me and my boss, me and my other manager. And he said to me, "I have a disability." Because it was just me and my manager, and it was getting late, I said, it was a Sunday, I can stay late Fridays and Saturdays, period. And it's like, I asked, you say you're my boss, and you have an assistant, your sister's...
Fired.
Huh? Funny. So you're my boss, and your sister is my assistant. And he's like, okay, can you give me a ride home? And your sister says no. Says fine, but I have to leave because when he hired me, I rely on public transportation. No taxis. That means either you're giving me a ride home, or I have to get my shit and leave. So that's that's what I did. I got my shit and I left. And so the next day, he called me in the back. He was, basically jamming the phone in my face, saying, "What's wrong with this? Next picture. What is wrong with this? Next picture. What is wrong with this?" And I was biting my lip, and I say, I know what's wrong with those pictures. I'm not in any of them. I'm hurt. But he was so mad, and I thought the words "you're fired" were going to come spewing out of his mouth. And so I basically got up and quit after I said to him, I have a disability. And he did the best to me. To clean? You have a disability to clean? And I said, you know what? Here's the badge. I am out of here. So I went out. I called my dad and said, you know what? I think I'm going to leave the store. I told him what happened. And I was pissed. I used a couple F words, and people were looking at me. It's like, what's his problem? I went back into the store, and I made up my mind. This is how it's going to work. If you don't, it's got to be an article in the paper. I went in back. I said, I'm sorry I walked down on you. I apologize. But I did not appreciate how you talked down to me. And I went in. My dad's like, record a conversation. Because in New York State, it's only one party assent to record a conversation. Now, I should have had it on first time where he did that, made fun of me for it was a disability. So I went in the second time and I had my phone on record, and I said, I didn't respect how you talked down to me. I'm handicapped. I'm retarded. I have a disability. I didn't like being talked down to, and so next thing you know, he took my name tag out of the garbage while I was talking. And he wipes it off and he gets it to me. And I said, okay, so we're fine? Yeah, we're fine. But I'm like, I told you, Fridays and Saturdays, I can stay late. Other times, yeah, there's other taxis, I guess. But the problem is, I don't know them. I never used them, and I don't know how reliable they are. But the point in the matter is you have two people closing, one person closing, because you're a manager and I'm your sales associate. The store is wrecked, and you only have two people closing. And how long do you want us to stay there? Especially if you don't get a ride home. I'm not walking home.
Right.
But, it's just like one of those things. It's, I don't want to do retail for the rest of my life.
Well, it sounds to me like it's an example of ignorance breeds hate.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are blessed in life and are born without any, defects or deformities and have these perfect lives look down upon people with disabilities and disorders and, just they look down upon them, and it's really terrible because they say ignorance breeds hate. Do you know what that means? Yeah, you're familiar with that saying? Ignorance breeds hate?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you something. People group people with disorders and mental problems and health problems into a category, and they belittle them by making them sound like they are below average intelligence, like they are ignorant. But have you ever seen somebody that's disabled really hate anyone?
Well, they trying to find it because I met some people who are disabled and they hate the world, but they're only reflecting that because they're. Hey, doggy. but they're only upset at themselves. But no, that is a good question. But we are going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I'm going to pass the show over to you for the last 5 minutes.
A message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shout-outs, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre, buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
Welcome back to episode 397. Here's the talented and beautiful Ms. Valentine. And now with the last 5 minutes left of the show, I'm going to pass it over to you. Was there anything you wanted to know, anything you wanted to talk about, promote? This is your time after all.
I would like to have a little shout out for Collar and Elbow. That is my sponsor. My senior sponsor is actually Al Snow. I have not actually had the courtesy of meeting him face to face, but I have exchanged a couple emails and a couple Facebook messages, and he seems like a really cool cat. I would also like to promote the show that I have tomorrow in LSC, at LSC in Lebanon, Ohio, at the Warren County Fairgrounds. If you want to come out and see me, that's fine. That will be October 14th. And like I said before, I really support what you're doing here. I think it's a great cause. Being personally affected by mental disorder and having family members and really close friends that are affected by diseases and disabilities like autism and cerebral palsy, and it's hitting home. It's touching the heart there, and I am in 100% support mode. I love this. This is probably my favorite interview that I've ever done.
Well, you do bring up a good point wrapping up the show. It's for someone, you did mention you have a disability. How does that affect you in the ring?
In the ring, I have social anxiety. So it literally turns my stomach to get out in front of a crowd. But that is kind of my own special way of facing that fear and trying to overcome it the best way that I know how.
No, absolutely. And you asked me a question before, about, seeing people, how do you see yourself, and the question you asked before. It's pretty much, I have seen, unfortunately, I have seen in many cases, cerebral palsies, retardation, people who weren't coherent. You named a disability, I saw it, and how people reflect is they usually reflect how they feel out on other people. So it's basically, they're venting, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's hard to explain and answer the question because I don't really have those type of problems or issues, but I can sympathize. I went from, someone who sat in the corner and didn't talk to anyone to being a social outcast, was being labeled as, there's a whole bunch of different crap that you can think of, to now look at someone who's a upcoming celebrity. So it's pretty much just, if somebody labels you, you should prove to them That's not going to dictate who you are and who you're going to be. That's like my saying. Labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And to prove to them, you can stem out to something. Hashtag break the labels. And I'm not dancing around the question. I just don't know how to answer it, to be honest.
That is very true. I agree completely. The label thing affected me in middle school because I like to wear all black clothes, and I hung out with a certain crowd, and I was labeled. That's before being gay was cool. So I was made fun of because I had relationships with girls and I had relationships with dudes, and I was made fun of because of my social anxiety, and I was the weird emo kid that nobody talked to. And now I am Cherry Valentine. It's been a very long process, and it's been a very fulfilling process. It's my passion. I love that I'm able to get out there and I'm able to conquer my fear and feel fully empowered. It's hard. There's no words.
No, absolutely. Actions speak louder than words. With that being said, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But the last two questions for you is, the first one is, are you on social media? Are you on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram? Are you on that fun stuff?
I have a Facebook account under Cherry Valentine. It's under an athlete page. I also think you have my personal Facebook, but that I would actually like to remain personal. What was your other question?
Oh, just send me your the Cherry Valentine one. I can just promote that. And are you on Twitter and Instagram?
I have an Instagram page, but it's my personal.
I don't worry about it. So my last question for you is, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction? And after being a guest, how do you feel now?
My first reaction was, "Ooh, I'm special." But second kind of response for it was, "Okay, so this is legit, and this guy really wants an interview. This is not some creep weirdo that's trying to be weird and creepy."
Yeah, thanks.
After being on the show, I am really appreciative. I thank you for having me, and like I said, I support 100% what you're doing here.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be of service.